Did you ever wake up in the morning and see some dumb post like someone saying One Piece is a bad anime? And you just think to yourself, you know what? This person, this individual,
An intellectual patroon, a slabberdigullion.
needs to be destroyed with facts and logic. You pull out your mighty fingers on your keyboard and start typing. You start destroying this ignoramus with your powerful argument. You go back and forth day and night. You have the last say in this battle for supremacy. Then finally, your opponents stop responding and you stand on top of your enemy's corpse, victorious, after days of extreme battle.
Yes! Yes!
Well, if you're someone who does this or feels this way, well, then good job. You have become a debate junkie. So let's talk about it. I want you to ask yourself a question. Why do we debate?
What?
And what is the purpose of debating? Seriously, think about it. What's the purpose of debating?
I don't know.
Is it to humiliate your opponent? To destroy them?
Maybe.
I mean, if you think so, then you might have missed the whole point of a debate. The main purpose of a debate is not to destroy your opponent, but actually to convince them. To come to common terms. That's the whole reason debating exists. It's to reduce your difference with your opponent. However, over the past few years, I've noticed something that's a bit strange. You see, over the past few years, ever since Islamic apologetic scene became more active online, especially on YouTube, I've been seeing more and more people becoming more obsessed with destroying their opponent than actually trying to convince them.
Destroy.
And this is something that happens especially in the lovely place called the comment section. And this is also very, very common in other like threads, Reddit, Facebook, you name it. It's everywhere. I understand why they're doing it because I used to do the exact same thing. You see, when I first started this channel, I actually uh, had a very bad habit, which is that every time I see a dumb comment, I used to get comments that would boil my blood, like literally boil my blood. So I felt like I had to respond. So, like genius that I was, I tried to respond to every single comment that I got.
You went full retard, man.
I felt like I have to destroy them with logic and reason. I have.
Have to like have the last laugh. I have to have the last word. Now, it got to the point where I was debating people almost all day. Like I'm not even joking. It affected my holidays completely. It even affected my, you know, my regular routine. But I just didn't care. I wanted to destroy people left and right, right? In the comment section, all these trolls, I want to destroy them. But then I slowly start to realize a few things. I was losing hours. You see, as soon as I started doing this, I realized that I would oftentimes forget to eat. I would even sometimes forget to go to bed really late. I mean, I still do that, but at least it was even worse back then. And every time I took a break from these so-called debates, I would get this extreme amount of anxiety and stress. I felt like I kept wondering, what is this person saying? What is this person saying? To the point where I was just obsessed with it. And I just had this epiphany that, you know what, I think I'm wasting my time. And I was. See, the truth is, these type of debates are not real debates. You see, it's more about your ego. It's more about how, you know, how much macho man you are. It's more about showing off than actually trying to convince your opponent. And it became more about insulting and destroying your opponent than actually trying to convince them. And when I realized that, that's when it really hit me. I mean, it feels great to destroy your opponent, right? Trust me, no one loves to destroy snowfalls more than me. But the thing is that it becomes problematic when you become obsessed with it. And it becomes especially problematic online because there's no restriction. Like if you see a debate, like let's say the debate between Muhammad Hijab and David Wood, you see that and you see that this is clearly a moderated and proper debate because, one person is having some time, then another person is coming in and he's having some time and then there's back and forth, but it's happening in a limited amount of time. But on the internet, there's no limit. You can go for all day long, right? You can go crazy. And that can become extremely obsessive. It can also almost become like a addiction, like a drug addiction. Eventually I realized that this thing was actually hurting me. It was harming me. I mean, I was wasting huge amounts of time, and it was not most of the debates was not having any real impact. So the first step that I took is I unchecked my notification. This way, even if I got a response, I won't be able to see it. So I won't feel like I have to respond because I had this addiction, like this need that I have to respond. Recently, I read an article where they basically showed a scientific reason why people actually feel the need to win a debate or become obsessed with debating. So, according to Judith E. Glacier in her article, Your Brain Hooked on Being Right, she says, when you're angry and win, your brain floods with different hormones, adrenaline and dopamine, which makes you feel good, dominant, even invincible. It's a feeling any of us would want to replicate. So the next time we're in a tense situation, we fight again. We get addicted to being right. Now, she says that I've coached dozens of incredibly successful leaders who suffer from this addiction. This is extremely good at they're extremely good at fighting for their point of view, which is indeed oftentimes right. Yet they are completely unaware of the dampened impact that behavior has on the people around them. If one person is getting high of his or her dopamine, others are being drummed into submission, experience the fight, flight, freeze, or appease response I described before, which diminishes their collaborative impulses. So, as you can see, when we debate, or at least when we feel like we win it, we have won a debate, it actually gives us a sense of pleasure, almost very similar to how you feel when you take drugs. This is what Prophet Muhammad SAW said. No people go astray after having been guided, but they resort to arguing. Then the Messenger of Allah recited this ayah. They quoted not the above example except for argument. Nay, but they are quarrelsome people. This is a verse from the Quran, chapter 43, verse number 58. This is a Hasan hadith according to Sunnah.com. However, some say that according to Imam Tirmidhi, this is actually a Sahih hadith. So as you can see, both Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us not to involve ourselves in useless debates. However, this doesn't mean that you can't have a debate period or anything like that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, call to the way of your Lord with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in a way that is better. You can read about this in Surah Al-Nahl, chapter 16, verse number 125. According to Ibn Kathir, if anyone wants to argue and debate with them, then let him do so in the best manner, with kindness, gentleness, and good preaching. You can read about this in Tafsir Ibn Kathir. This is about verse 16, chapter 16, verse number 125. So we have to debate in a proper manner. Look, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't debate, period. Okay, in the comment section. However, you have to keep in mind that when you realize that your debate is not going anywhere and it's actually creating animosity between you and your opponent, then the best thing to do is to walk away. Be the better man. Otherwise, you will simply be wasting your time and his Also, just because you chose to walk away does not mean that you lost the debate. I've seen many people having this misconception, and they think that if you have the last word, you won the debate. No, like just because you have the last word doesn't mean you won the debate. Sometimes you win debates just simply by walking away. Okay, so it also doesn't mean that you're wrong and that person is right just because he had the last say. Same way, just because you have the last say does not mean that you won, you are right and he's wrong. What this actually means is that simply you acknowledge that you cannot convince your opponent, and there's nothing wrong with that. Simply say that we agree to disagree. To you, your religion, to me, mine. And the thing is that the truth is that we will never be able to convince everyone, even if we're right. Even if we have the best arguments, we'll not be able to convince everyone. It's just not going to happen. And so, even if you're right, however, sometimes the best option is to walk away. Either way, uh, I hope this video helped some of you, and I hope that you guys, if you having a debate, if you feel like nothing is coming out of it, just walk away. Either way, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you want to support me, links in the description, Patreon, and social media. Give this video a like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.